Dear students, myself Professor V.S. Kale, Department of Electronic Science, KTHM College, Nasik. Today you will learn Core Compulsory Theory course, subject ELT 231, Advanced Communication System, Unit 2, title is Pulse Communication Systems, and subtopic is Characteristics of Data Transmission Circuits. Let us see the outline of lecture. Introduction, bandwidth requirement, data transmission speed, baud rate, noise, crosstalk, distortion, summary. Now see the bandwidth requirement. Digital data transmission circuits is the pulse type energy. The data stream is similar to a square wave signal with rapid transitions from one voltage level to another, with the repetition rate depending on the binary representation of the data word. Let us see the repetition rate here 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1. See the square wave. Similar to this, see the another code 0 0 1 1 0 0 1 1. Both are binary code, but here repetition rate is different, here repetition rate is different. This frequency is different, this frequency is different. Here T is more, so frequency is low. Here T is small, so frequency is high. So this frequency is higher than this. Similarly, see the other one. Here the code is 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 1. Again see off time and on time, capital T. Take the reciprocal of it. That will be the frequency of this. Now this frequency is very less as compared to this one. This frequency is less than this one. See again one more code. Here code is 1 0 0 1 1 0 0 0. Again, if you see the frequency of this, that will be different from this. So here you will learn the repetition rate, and depending upon the repetition rate, their frequency will be different. As frequency different, its requirement of bandwidth will be also different. So this is about just the bandwidth. Now see, in certain expensive applications such as high frequency radio or some submarine cables, 3 kilohertz circuits are used, in which the frequency range is 300 Hz to 2800 Hz are used. Neither channel will include all the audible spectrum, that is 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz, but each will cover the range into which speech falls and convey enough of the components of speech to ensure precision and voice recognition. The signals which fall outside the channel bandwidth are attenuated by filters so that they will not interfere with other signals. Here telephone channel bandwidth is limited up to 4 kilohertz. Here the range is only 300 Hz to 2800 Hz. If we use higher frequency, the higher frequency will be attenuated by filters. The reason is telephone channel bandwidth is limited to 4 kilohertz. When data is sent over telephone channels, the speed must be limited to ensure that the bandwidth required by the characteristics of data transmission circuits will not exceed the telephone channel bandwidth. The faster the data is transmitted, the greater the bandwidth will need to be to accommodate it. So this is the limitation of telephone channel. Now let us see about the data transmission speed. The rate of data transfer depends on several aspects of the transmission channel, of which signaling speed, that is called as an channel's baud rate, is very important. The baud is an important unit of signaling speed. In a system in which all pulses have equal duration, the speed of bauds is equal to the maximum rate at which signal pulses are transmitted. This is different from information bit rate. Information bit rate and baud rate is different. In a system which uses only one information bit per signaling pulse, the baud rate and the bit rate are same. In systems which encode the data with more than one information bit can be placed on each signaling pulse, the information bit rate will exceed the baud rate. Nyquist determined that one cycle of characteristics of data transmission circuits can contain a maximum of 2 bands. The maximum signaling speed in bauds is equal to twice the bandwidth of the channel. This is for ideal channel in which no noise is there. Information transfer can occur at a rate equal to or different from the baud rate. Multi-level and encoded data elements can be used to provide information transfer rates at speeds greater than the baud rate. So if speed greater than the baud rate, multi-level and encoded data elements are to be used. This is about the data transmission speed. So what is bit rate and baud rate? Now let us see about the signaling speed using diabit and multi-level encoding. In the Bell system, the data set 201 type is a fixed rate synchronous modem which operates over wideband facilities. The data rate 201A, its speed is 2000 bits per second, called data phone service over switch telephone network. Data set 201B, this type speed is 2400 bits per second, are called as private line and used only for that. The data streams are converted to 2-bit pairs. One of these 4 values 00, 01, 10, 11. Each of the 2-bit pairs is converted to a phase value in the data set. If pair is 00, it represents 90 degrees, 01 by 180 degree, 10 by 270 degree, and 11 by 0 degree. This is used for PSK, that is phase shift keying modulation. Each of the 2-bit element is called a diabit. This is a 4-level code, 1, 2, 3, 4. Die-bit encoded data can be transmitted by using half the number of bands required for the non-encoded data. Now let us see about the multi-level encoding. Multi-level encoding is used to increase information transfer, but it has drawbacks. It compromises the ability to detect code value reliability. Since there are multiple values for each signaling element, which previously had only two, that is on or off, or 1 or 0, that is only binary, two states. Even with this limitation, given a relatively noiseless and distortionless transmission channel, multi-level coding can provide valuable transmission efficiency improvement is there. So multi-level encoding increases the efficiency. Let us see about the noise. Impulse noise is there, which is harmful to signals. The sampling theorem shows that sampling the signal at a rate equal to at least twice the bandwidth. Noise affects this sampling process because noise pulse will be interpreted as a data bit. If the noise impulse occurs at the time a sample is taken and has an amplitude equal to or exceeding the minimum level of mark, the impulse noise to become a source of errors increases with the number of levels of each code element. Let us see the diagram. Here mark and space is there. If here sampling is taken and noise occurs, these are the noise pulses. Without treating them at 0 level, their level will be different, so data will be changed. Now, how much signal to noise ratio that is calculated? S by n is equal to 2 raised to Nyquist rate divided by delta f, that is channel bandwidth, minus 1. So here S by n is equal to signal to noise ratio, NR is Nyquist rate, delta f is channel bandwidth. Let us take example for 3 kilohertz bandwidth. If channel bandwidth is 3 kilohertz, that is 3000 hertz, the Nyquist rate must be double of it, that is 6000. So in that case, signal to noise ratio is equal to 2 raised to 6000 divided by 3000, that comes as an 2 raised to 2, that is 4 minus 1 is coming 3. Therefore the signal to noise ratio is 3:1. In decibel it can be calculated. dB is equal to 10 log of S by n, that is signal to noise ratio. If signal to noise ratio is 3, 10 log of 3, that comes as an 4.8. So signal to noise ratio is 3. In dB it comes as an 4.8. Using a 3-level code, a signal to noise ratio is 8.5, or in dB 3.7. For equal performance in the same channel, a 4-level code, a signal to noise performance in dB is 11.7, that is 11.7 dB. Improvement in the signal to noise ratio makes use of multi-level encoding feasible. So if we want to reduce the noise, we have to use the multi-level coding so that signal to noise ratio improvement is there. Let us see about the crosstalk. Crosstalk means what? Any multiplex transmission system which conveys more than one signal simultaneously can experience crosstalk, which is interference due to the reception of portions of the signal from one channel in another channel. The causes of crosstalk are capacitive, that is electrostatic coupling due to stray or parasitic capacitance, and inductive, that is electromagnetic coupling due to mutual inductance. So these are the causes of crosstalk. Modem systems which conveys many channels of voice and data simultaneously, the system becomes loaded or heavily utilized, so that the control of levels of the individual channels and the group levels becomes very important to prevent crosstalk. If wires of two signals carrying circuits run parallel, it is possible for the signal from one circuit to be induced by electromagnetic radiation into the second circuit. This is more pronounced when the length of parallel circuits is extensive. This type of crosstalk is reduced by using twisted pair cables and balanced circuits with shielding. Balanced circuits can be designed by using transformers. Without running two conductors parallel, we can use a twisted pair, so cancellation of crosstalk signals will be there. So crosstalk can be reduced by using such a balanced circuit as well as twisted pair and with shielding. This is about crosstalk. Let us see about the distortions. Specifically, signals of different frequencies can be passed by the channel with different values of amplitude attenuation and at different propagation speeds. The results is distortion because the frequencies are different, their amplitudes are different. Systems using phase modulation in phase delay or envelope delay distortions occur. It occurs in a channel when signals of one frequency are passed through the circuit at a different speed than the other signals. The resulting distortion can take the form of intersymbol interference, since characters which have lower frequency components pass at different speed than that characters with high frequency components. It is possible in higher speed circuits for portions of one character to enter or remain in the time slot allocated to other characters. And to reduce these type of distortions, equalizers are to be used. Phase delay distortions can be reduced to acceptable levels by using equalization of channel. See how equalization is done. The equalizer automatically varies its delay characteristics while sampling the return signal to determine when the channel delay plus equalizer delay reach proper tolerances. The characteristics of data transmission circuits is thereafter sampled during transmission to ensure that equalization settings are appropriate, with modifications made as required is called adaptive equalization. It's changeable. Preset equalization or conditioning follows the same process as adaptive equalization, except that the equalization is set prior to transmission and then updated only during breaks in transmission using some special test sequences. Let us see the diagram. This dotted is signal, that is actual circuit response. Here small dotted signal is equalization. These are out of phase and resultant is shown, that is resultant response at 0. So by using these we can remove the noise. Whatever the distortions are there, those can be reduced by using adaptive equalization or preset equalization or some conditioning. Let us see the example. Suppose the spectrum of channel is between 3 MHz and 4 MHz and signal to noise ratio in dB is given, that is 24 dB. Calculate the capacity limit C using Shannon formula and signaling levels by Nyquist formula. Bandwidth B is equal to 4 MHz minus 3 MHz, that is equal to 1 MHz, that is 10⁻⁶ Hz. Signal to noise ratio in dB is equal to 24 dB, which is given, that is equal to 10 log of signal to noise ratio to the base 10. That gives you signal to noise ratio as 251. Using Shannon formula, the capacity limit C is B log of in bracket 1 plus signal to noise ratio bracket complete to the base 2. So C is equal to, B means bandwidth, that is 10⁻⁶ log of 2 in bracket 1 plus signal to noise ratio is 251. So 251 plus 1, that is 252, and if you solve this we are getting approximately 8 megabits per second. To achieve this capacity 8 megabits per second, the signaling level by Nyquist formula C is equal to 2B log of M, means the number of levels, to the base 2. C is 8 into 10⁻⁶, that is equal to 2. Bandwidth is 10⁻⁶ Hz log of M to the base 2. Here if we solve this we are getting M is equal to 16. So for a bandwidth of 1 MHz and signal to noise ratio in dB is 24 dB, signal to noise ratio is 251, and the number of signaling levels M is equal to 16. Now let us summarize. The baud is an important unit of signaling speed. In a system in which all pulses have equal duration, the speed in bauds is equal to the maximum rate at which signaling pulses are transmitted. Nyquist determined that the maximum signaling speed in baud is equal to twice the bandwidth of the channel in ideal case where no noise is there. Multi-level and encoded data elements can be used to provide information transfer rates at speeds greater than the baud rate. Crosstalk: any multiplex transmission system which conveys more than one signal simultaneously can experience crosstalk, which is interference due to the reception of portions of a signal from one channel to another channel. Phase delay distortion can be reduced to acceptable level by using equalization on the channel. Electromagnetic radiation crosstalk is reduced by using twisted pair cables with balance circuit and shielding. This is the summary what you learn. Now let us see the diagram. Here source is digital bit, transmitter is there, this digital signal is converted to analog, transmission system is there with analog signal, receiver receives the analog signal, and the digital bit stream comes at the destination, that is the output. So input is in digital form. Here in between source and destination, signal is in analog form, and at the last again we can get the signal in digital form. Thank you.